Hello, friends. In 2026, it's time to stop renting your healthcare. What do I even mean by that? We are so deeply conditioned to rely on an expensive, inefficient, externalized system for every ache and pain and every illness. But the reality is that we have so much medicine under our feet, and we are paying for our healthcare like we're renting it when we could and sometimes already do own it. And that's one of the main reasons that I teach about herbalism through my advanced medicine making course and my herbal medicine monthly subscription. We're all paying for care and not seeing returns. I don't have to tell you that healthcare costs are skyrocketing. In the US, they're projected to jump nearly 10%, and in some places, care costs are close to doubling. And access is also shrinking. Fewer providers, and we all know their job satisfaction is low. Overwhelmed clinics. We all see insurance doing a perpetual bait and switch, not to bring more fear and loathing into the conversation, but we also have been seeing medication supply chain issues. Remember all those drug shortages we kept hearing about? As of last year, 270 medications were in active shortage in the US, everything from basic antibiotics to critical meds. It's a harsh wake-up call. The more we rent our healthcare from a struggling and sometimes failing system, the more vulnerable we become. And let's be real, in the current system, we are very much at risk of losing access, medication access, care access, and being put under considerable financial strain with little or no return. And the brutal reality is that the systems that are supposed to work and provide care are not working, and no one is coming, at least as of now, to save the day. I don't say that to scare you, but to empower you. Our modern society celebrates individualism. Yet we've become deeply dependent on outside systems for basic care, food, and even social support. It's really a strange paradox. We feel the ease of grabbing takeout or a rideshare on an app, but when it comes to health, we're often sitting on our hands waiting for an appointment or a prescription or trying to scrounge up enough money to make either of those things happen for ourselves or our loved ones. The truth is, at this point, no one's coming, at least not in the way we might expect or hope. The conventional top-down approach of healthcare often doesn't have the bandwidth or sometimes the interest to ensure that we are thriving. So what can we do? We can reclaim our power. We can cultivate what I call rooted autonomy. This is agency in our own care by learning about and forming a relationship with our native ecosystems and their food and medicine. Instead of depending entirely on supply chains, stressed out physicians, or self-interested insurance companies, or in general, just someone else for your care, you can have the deep security in knowing that plants in your medicine chest, in your garden, in your backyard, or in your local woods can help you and your family right now. I always laugh because learning and investing in herbalism really is healthcare instant gratification. I'm sick, I make medicine, I feel better. This is autonomy through rooted ecological systems. It's about forging a connection with the living world around you so that your well-being isn't at the mercy of distant factories or the insurance company customer service limbo. It's community interreliance and self-reliance working together. When you know how to whip up a cough syrup from wild cherry bark or reduce a fever with yarrow that you foraged, you're embodying one of the tenets here at Deep Roots: personal agency and family health advocacy. That kind of confidence is deep security. It's the unshakable kind that comes from knowing that you don't have to be 100% reliant on externalized healthcare. You can be your own primary care, and you only have to outsource when it's above your pay grade. Taking back this kind of responsibility for our health isn't a step backward or a fringe idea. In fact, evidence-based herbalism is widely available and incredibly validating. We live in a time when science is finally catching up to and validating ancestral knowledge. There's a growing body of modern research that confirms many herbal medicines simply work, oftentimes as well, if not better, than their pharmaceutical counterparts. So while we embrace tradition, we also have science on our side. Herbal medicine today stands on two pillars: science and tradition. Let me give you an example. Many traditional communities and modern herbalists use willow bark tea for pain relief. They knew it helped, and I know it helps. Today, any herbalist or chemist will tell you that willow bark contains salicin, which works much like aspirin. Or we can consider St. John's wort, a ubiquitous wildflower that is used for mood support, for centuries. A modern meta-analysis of 23 clinical trials found that St. John's wort was as effective as standard antidepressants for mild to moderate depression, with fewer side effects to boot. How amazing is that? We have data, and sometimes it's extensive, that validates folk wisdom. Studies are coming out every day about herbal medicines: turmeric for inflammation, frankincense for IBS, elderberry for immunity. So when you make medicine at home, you're not playing witch doctor in the woods. You're participating in a rich lineage and in cutting-edge evidence-based practices. This blend of research and reverence, as I like to call it, is the heart of how I teach herbalism at Deep Roots. We honor the science and the tradition. Now let's talk specifics, because I know some of you might be thinking, this all sounds good, but can herbs really handle the big stuff? Let's start with one of the biggest challenges of our time: mental health. Rates of anxiety and burnout are off the charts, and many folks are seeking alternatives or complements to pharmaceuticals for relief. And here's where herbal medicine shines. Herbs can support mental and emotional health just as effectively as many pharmaceutical medicines, especially for mild to moderate cases, and often they do it more gently. Ever hear of adaptogens? These are herbs that help your body adapt to stress and increase your systemic resilience. They don't eliminate stress, life will be life, but they change how resilient you are to stress and increase your window of tolerance and capacity. One famous adaptogen, Ashwagandha, has been shown to reduce anxiety and depression significantly in clinical trials. Another, Rhodiola, can lift mood and combat fatigue. These plants have been used for centuries in Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine, but now modern research is backing them up, showing reduced cortisol levels and improved mental focus for people who take them. We also have Nerve Tonics, herbs that calm, nourish, and restore the nervous system over time. These are really specific to people who are feeling frazzled, struggling with poor sleep due to stress, or have that wired but tired feeling. There's a plant for that, if you can imagine it. Milky oats, tincture, and skullcap, for example, are both amazing restoratives that over time can rebuild your nervous system and help with burnout recovery. Passion flower and valerian are one of my favorite combinations that help ease you to sleep without the hangover effects of many sleep medications. St. John's wort, our mood lifter friend from earlier, not only acts as an antidepressant, but is also a nerve tropho-restorative, meaning that it helps nourish and rebuild nerve tissue. And I often used it with post-COVID nerve damage and neuropathy. Herbal medicines support mental health in a holistic way, addressing stress, anxiety, depression, and sleep often simultaneously and with an eye on root cause. We're not just masking symptoms, we're bringing the body back into balance. And yes, there's research behind many of these. For instance, one study found that a standardized extract of ashwagandha lowered anxiety by as much as 56% compared to placebo. That's on par with some anxiety medications, but with far fewer side effects and a lot more nutrients. There is such a misconception about herbal medicine that they're weaker or ineffective as compared to pharmaceuticals. I really believe this is due to the perceived lack of research or scientific substantiation. But it's also not uncommon to hear folks say that herbs are unsafe or untested and therefore dangerous. Let's be clear. Your body and mind respond to herbal medicines not unlike pharmaceuticals. We are inserting an input, a drug or herb, into the complex system of the body and getting a downstream alteration of physiology. And herbal medicines have an overall track record of being safer with fewer side effects than pharmaceutical drugs when used correctly and in appropriate dosages and forms. Also, herbs have a bonus. They often have broader therapeutic intervention than pharmaceuticals. To say that in a different way, the off-label uses of each individual herb is broad. When you drink a cup of lemon balm and chamomile tea to calm your nerves, you're also nourishing your digestion, supporting your immunity, getting anti-inflammatory effects, and knocking back viral infections, as well as supporting your sleep. It's a beautiful, intertwined system of support. This is polypharmacy, to use a phrase from pharmacology at its best. Polypharmacy is one of the best ways to work on the amazing and complex system that is human physiology. Now, speaking of immunity, let's talk about immune support, another hot topic. The last few years have taught us all about the importance of a resilient immune system. Here again, herbal medicine makes so much sense. We have herbs known as immunomodulators, meaning that they help strengthen your immune response. For daily support, you have tonic herbs like astragalus root and medicinal mushrooms like reishi and turkey tail that you can take in the form of teas or soups to regulate your immune response. There are acute immune boosters like elderberry and echinacea. You might have seen elderberry syrup go viral, no pun intended, in recent years for good reason. While research on elderberry has mixed results, some studies show it can cut the duration of flu symptoms by about 4 days when taken at the onset of illness. That's huge. 4 fewer days of feeling miserable is nothing to sneeze at. Pun intended that time. Elderberry is rich in antioxidants and prevent viruses from replicating easily. Echinacea, on the other hand, is our famous for purple coneflower, and yes, science backs that up too. A comprehensive meta-analysis found that echinacea can reduce your chances of catching a common cold by 58%, and also shorten the duration if you get sick. Those numbers are wild. You can be sick half as often for half as many days just by doing the preventative care that you need with echinacea. That's the power of making and taking your own herbal medicines. You're not waiting for illness to strike and then hoping the pharmacy has cold medicine in stock. You're proactively strengthening your body's defenses with things you grew or wildcrafted or prepared at home. It's the ultimate preventative, bottom-up approach to health that puts the power back in your hands. And we can't forget gut health, the foundation of so much well-being. In recent years, we've learned how crucial the gut is. It's tied to immunity, mental health, the gut-brain axis, hormonal balance, and of course, nutrient absorption. And guess what? We have herbal medicines for that too. This is an area where folk wisdom and modern science are both very rich. For example, the simple bitter herbs. Ever wonder why traditional cultures often start a meal with bitter greens or a bitter aperitif? Herbs like gingin, artichoke leaf, dandelion, or even ginger. These bitter and pungent herbs stimulate our digestive secretions and they prime us to digest our food. A few drops of a bitter tincture on your tongue gets your saliva flowing, your stomach acid pumping, and bile releasing. All things many of our over-sanitized, over-processed, high-sugar diets have dampened. Bitters ease indigestion, reduce bloating, improve nutrient absorption, and even help with sugar cravings by steadying blood sugar. As I often remind my students, bitter is the flavor of wellness. We've lost it in our modern diet, and we can bring it back. And that transforms your diet, your digestion, your mood, your hormones, and your waistline. I once did a bitters tasting day with a friend as we were designing some cocktails, and we looked at each other about an hour in, and we both felt emotionally buoyant. And we were really happy, but we had started the day really slogging through. Herbs also help heal and seal the gut. Think slippery elm bark or marshmallow root, which are demulcents that soothe inflammation in the gut lining, or peppermint and ginger for IBS and nausea. Studies show ginger can rival commercial nausea meds for things like morning sickness, and I would say that even peach would give ginger a run for its money, even though there's no research on it. The beauty of making your own herbal preparations is that you can tailor them to your unique needs. You learn to listen to your body. Is your digestion sluggish and heavy? Maybe you need an aromatic carminative like fennel or ginger to get things moving. If you're running to the bathroom when you're anxious, reach for chamomile, agrimony, or catnip. The depth of herbal support for gut health is insane, and it's untapped by so many people. And again, it's the merging of two worlds, ancestral knowledge and science, that meet and marry in modern clinical herbal interventions. We're literally feeding our microbiome with plant medicine and restoring balance in a way that pharmaceuticals can't mimic, because you can't patent wild diversity of compounds in a plant. We've covered a lot in this video: rising healthcare costs, shaky access, the empowerment of knowing no one is coming, but you really do have this, the evidence-based success of herbal remedies for mental health, immunity, and gut health. All these threads weave together in one big message: making herbal medicine at home just makes sense. It makes sense financially, it makes sense practically, and it makes sense for our deep security and mental and emotional well-being. When you craft your own remedies, you're doing more than just creating a homemade cough syrup or digestive bitters. You're stepping into a lineage of humans who knew that our health is ultimately our own. You're asserting, I trust myself. I trust that there is care for me right outside my door. It's such a wonderful place to be, to feel so connected and secure in your own healthcare autonomy. In a world where we doubt ourselves and do just as we're told, I'm writing you the permission slip to do something different. You can change your tune. You can become an active player in your health. And from personal experience and years of teaching students who decide to make that shift, it builds a kind of self-trust that seeps into every area of your life. You start to trust your observations, your intuitions. You remember that humans co-evolved with plants. This community care seems to follow close behind gathering and making your own medicine. When you heal yourself, you can't help but begin to support and provide for your team, your family, your friends, and your community. Maybe you start by making herbal teas, and the next thing you know, your neighbor comes over with a headache, and you offer an herbal tincture that fixes her up. Suddenly, you're the local herb nerd, and now she wants to learn a little bit too. This is how community healing spreads. It spreads quickly from kitchen to kitchen, garden to garden, like peppermint. We begin to heal together. We share remedies, we exchange knowledge, and maybe even cuttings of our favorite plants. Remember earlier how I said no one is coming? Well, the flip side of that is that we can come to each other. By each of us taking responsibility and learning, we create a network of capable, empowered caretakers. That is deep security in a world with an uncertain climate and uncertain systems. And that is resilience. I want to invite you deeper into this journey. If this discussion has lit a fire in you, a curiosity to resolve or reclaim your health, I'm here to fan that flame. I've poured my heart into creating an advanced herbal medicine making course for folks exactly like you, who are ready to take that empowering next step. It's a comprehensive online program with 12 modules of hands-on, step-by-step herbal training, where you'll learn everything you need to know to confidently make your own remedies safely and effectively. I designed it to be a fast track to competence and confidence. Whether you're a beginner or you've dabbled with a few tinctures, this course will meet you where you are and elevate you to the next level. Imagine in a few months having a cabinet full of medicines you made, tinctures, teas, salves, syrups, all labeled and ready for whatever life throws at you. In the course, I guide you through making over 20 types of preparations and understanding exactly when and how to use them. You'll learn the science so you know why an immune syrup needs a specific ratio of herbs or why that salve is healing to your skin, and the art, the intuition and tradition that go into formulating something truly special. And you won't be alone. When you join, you become part of a vibrant community of like-minded herbalists learning alongside you. We have live Q&As, a forum to share your successes and laugh about the inevitable mishaps, and a real sense of camaraderie. Because community is how herbalism thrives. We support each other, celebrate each other's remedies and wins, swap stories about that time my elderberry meat exploded and what we learned from it. Most importantly, this course and my teaching in general is rooted firmly in the values we talked about today. It's evidence-based and rooted in ancestral knowledge and standing firmly on my clinical experience. I always say that we keep our feet in both camps, science and tradition. You'll get research-backed information with citations and clinical experience, and we'll embrace the wonder of connecting with plants. It's about cultivating that deep sense of place and personal empowerment in every student. By the end of the program, my goal for you is to truly feel what I feel, that herbalism isn't just about remedies, it's a way of life, that making your own medicine not only heals your body, but nourishes your spirit with joy, curiosity, and connection. So why does making medicine at home make sense in 2026? Because it's your path to autonomy, to resilience, to honoring ancestral wisdom in a modern world, and to building a community of healing in a time when we desperately need it. If you're ready to step onto the path, I invite you to walk it with me. Come join us in the Advanced Medicine Making course. I'll link it below. We'll forage, formulate, and learn to trust ourselves again together. Thank you for spending this time with me. Remember, your health is yours, and you don't need to rent it. You can grow it, craft it, and own it in partnership with the ecosystems that we are a part of. Here's to you, to our internal wisdom and heritage, and to the journey ahead of you. If this message resonated with you, I encourage you to take the next step. Click the link in the description to learn more about the Advanced Medicine Making course and see if it's right for you.